Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Warrior Barracks looked completely different. It expanded, revealing a schoolyard filled with weapons, swords, spears, hammers, you name it. The barracks itself looked less ancient, almost magical. Nearby, Zhao Xuanhuan, who had been passive, was now bathed in light as Wu Qi used the item. When the light faded, she stared at herself, shocked. She wore full black armor, a bronze mask, and a black bird headdress. It was clear she was drastically changed. Your Majesty. I feel incredibly powerful. Zhao Xuanhuan's expression was resolute, her imposing presence radiating a dangerous aura. Wu Qi checked her stats. Qin Warriors, type, barracks, level, 10, 0/5000, recruitable, Immortal Qin Elite Warriors, 1000, current units, Xian Qin Elite Warriors x 100. Description: the warriors of Immortal Qin are invincible. Zhao Xuanhuan level, 12, 0/1500, rarity, Golden Legend, talent, Xianqin military formation, +1. Bloodline, 9 Sky Mysterious Bird, +1. Strength, 850, base 75, multiplier 1000%, Spirit, 550, base 45, multiplier 1000%, Skills, Military Formation, Gale, level 14, Military Formation, Unparalleled Might, level 14, Military Formation, 9 Heavens Mysterious Bird, level 14, Description: an unmatched warrior from Xianqin. Xianqin military formation +1. Talent rarity, Golden Legend, effect, grants Xianqin military formation skills, currently unlocked, Gale, Unparalleled Might, 9 Heavens Mysterious Bird. Description: when at least 2 Xianqin elite warriors are present, they can form a military formation and use its skills. The more warriors, the stronger the skills. 9 Heavenly Black Bird +1. Bloodline rarity, Golden Legend, effect, movement speed +100%, attack speed +100%, luck +1. Description: legend says only those with the blood of the 9 Heavens Black Bird can rule the world as Xianqin's ruler. Military formation, Gale, skill rarity, purple excellent. Level, 14. Effect, when activated, all Xianqin elite warriors gain 240% movement and attack speed. Duration, 100 minutes, base 60, multiplied by the number of people. Description: swiftness is key to victory. Military formation, Unparalleled Might, skill rarity, Golden Legend, level, 14. Effect, when activated, all Xianqin elite warriors gain 240% attack power. Duration, 100 minutes, base 60, multiplied by the number of people. Description: Qin warriors fear nothing, brave and unstoppable. Military formation, 9 Heavenly Black Bird, skill rarity, Golden Legend, level, 14. Effect, summons a 9 Heavens Black Bird Phantom to unleash a devastating area attack. Damage, 1400, number of people x skill level, cooldown, 24 hours, description: 9 Heavens Mysterious Bird, descend. What the heck? Wu Qi was floored. These stats were a universe apart from the level 10 Great Qin elite warriors from yesterday. The gap was unreal. He studied the panel, stunned. If 100 Immortal Qin warriors used a formation, Lin Daiyu wouldn't stand a chance. Territory perks plus Red Hydrangea plus Taiyin Cave. Plus, the Great Qin Ruins had upgraded to a Golden Legend unit, Immortal Qin Ruins, birthing this monster. Wu Qi swallowed, thrilled and surprised. While his classmates scrambled for rare heroes and soldiers, his territory was overflowing with Golden Legends. He was no longer just a student. He was on par with established lords. Long live the king! Zhao Xuanhuan pumped her fist, twirling. I'm so much stronger. I could take down dozens of my old self in a fight. As battle fanatics, the Great Qin elite warriors were overjoyed with their newfound strength. Right. Wu Qi regained his composure and walked out. He still had a troop quality upgrade talisman. P.S. I'll usually skip stat panels, only writing them out if there are major changes. I'm trying to avoid being too descriptive, but it's a data-driven novel, so I can't cut them entirely. Chapter 8, Me. I didn't snag a cookie. The power of the Immortal Qin elite warriors electrified Wu Qi, once outside their barracks, and after releasing Zhao Xianyue, he relaxed a bit. The Immortal Qin elite warriors are insane. Should I have swapped for those 13 troop quality upgrade talismans earlier? That the thought crossed his mind, but he shook his head. 13 troop quality upgrade talismans sounded great, but how were they different from the 11 golden heroes he considered? A sudden power spike was short-sighted. He had even thought of straight-up trading for 3 types of soldiers with quality upgrade symbols, but facing an uncertain future, especially with the woman in red's warning of monsters and monster lords right after arrival. One thought from such a creature could summon lightning storms, shatter the earth, and obliterate his territory. Without a way to escape, he'd be dead in a flash. Venturing into the endless void wasn't about easy riches, it was about risk. Some soared to the top, but many vanished without a trace or died unnoticed along the way. That's why a legendary defensive array was much more valuable. It would ensure Wu Qi's safety. Even facing a demon god at the start, it would give Wu Qi the split second needed to escape and save his skin. Of course, he shouldn't dwell on the danger. Maybe he'd stumble upon a wounded fairy when he arrived, who knows. Mingyue Palace was empty. The girls were usually splashing around in Mingjing Lake and the palace. Not here. Wu Qi spotted a little girl munching on pastries near Yunyin Guesthouse. Pastry crumbs dotted the corner of her mouth. Spotting Wu Qi, she frantically wiped her mouth, widened her eyes, and said innocently, "Mister. I didn't snag a cookie. I didn't say you did." Chapter 82. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Wu Qi's face darkened. The girl, flustered, clasped her hands together, fidgeting with her fingers. Seeing her cute, slightly dazed expression, Wu Qi's heart softened. He put his arm around her waist and asked, "What's your name?" My name is Xiao Chao." She nodded. "Don't you have a last name?" Wu Qi asked, surprised. Xiao Chao shook her head. "The world's about to end. Even outer disciples like me, who just started cultivating, are being thrown onto the battlefield. Names don't matter. But now that I'm with you, I don't have to worry about the apocalypse, hee." She scratched her head sheepishly. The Mingyue Palace, a powerful immortal sect, struggling against the impending doom. The outcome was pretty much a given. Wu Qi's eyes flickered. Softly, he said, "From now on, your last name is Wu, same as mine." "Really?" Xiao Cao's eyes lit up. "Awesome. From now on, I'll be Wu Xiao Chao." Chatting with the bright, lively girl, they arrived at the Mingyue Palace together. Wu Qi had her stand aside, then he used the soldier quality upgrade talisman. Prompt: use soldier quality upgrade talisman on Mingyue Palace cultivator. This item can be upgraded to golden legend status. Yes. The talisman turned into a burst of light and vanished. Instantly, the Mingyue Palace expanded, fairy energy swirling around it, and the white jade palace looked lavish. Inside, the girl gasped as she was enveloped in light. A second later, the light faded. She floated there, wide-eyed, stunned. Wu Qi didn't bother questioning her and checked the attribute panel. Mingyue Fairy Palace, type, barracks, level, 10, 0/5000, recruitable, Mingyue Fairy Palace Cultivator, 1000, owned, Mingyue Fairy Palace Cultivator, 100, flavor text, the little fairy is here. Mingyue Fairy Palace Cultivator, level, 10+2, 0/1500, quality, golden legend talent, body of the moon +1, bloodline, Xuanhuan fairy +1. Physique, 320+100, base stat 32, multiplier 1000%, spirit, 950+100, base stat 95, multiplier 1000%, skills, divine power seal, level 14, blood moon seal, level 14, binding immortal seal, level 14, falling moon seal, level 14, flavor text, a true disciple carefully nurtured by Mingyue Fairy Palace. Delicate and soft. Body of the moon +1. Talent quality, golden legend attributes, inherits the secrets of the moon palace, which will improve with level, unlocked, divine power seal, blood moon seal, binding immortal seal, falling moon seal, flavor text, there's no faster way to cultivate than adding points. It's better to rely on your lord than to grind. You get stronger just by chilling. Xuanhuan Fairy +1. Talent quality, Golden Legend, attributes, can cast moon spells 3 times in a row. Flavor text, rumored to be a maid of the moon goddess. Divine Power Seal. Level 14, attributes, grants a teammate the Divine Power Seal, physique +140, damage +32%, duration, 130 minutes, flavor text, moon seal, bright as the moon. Blood Moon Seal. Level 14, attributes, attacks the enemy with the light of the blood moon, dealing 280 plus spirit x 28% damage, flavor text, blood moon rage, raging flame. Binding Immortal Seal. Level 14, attribute, condenses moonlight into ropes to bind the enemy, duration, 130 seconds, flavor text, hogtie M and hang M up to dry. Falling Moon Seal. Level 14, attribute, blasts the enemy with moonlight, dealing soul shock damage. Damage, 14 plus spirit x 14%, stun time, base 14 seconds, flavor text, a seal that really drains you, another terrifying stat boost, a huge transformation, but unlike the immortal Qin Ruishi, the little fairies leaned toward support and versatility. Their individual power was respectable, but they weren't as good as the immortal Qin Ruishi on the battlefield. Once the military formation was set, even the golden heroes had to retreat. They couldn't stand against their sharp edge, of course, in a one-on-one duel. They. Lord, Lord. Look, a sweet voice chirped in his ear. Wu Qi turned to see the even more beautiful girl floating, 3 seals spinning in her hands. I can cast 3 seals at once, she said excitedly. Wu Qi thought, looking at her dazed expression. He was sure of it, even in a one-on-one fight, these airheads couldn't beat the immortal Qin Ruishi. Chapter 9, The 5 Elements Annihilate. Lotus in Clear Water. 1/5. Please subscribe. Minhua Palace, on the white jade stairs, dragon jade pillars stood tall, phoenixes perched on parasol trees. The scene was breathtaking, exuding nobility and a fairy-like aura. On the stairs, the girl happily played with her magic. She was casting a fairy binding seal 1 minute, then a blood moon seal the next, marveling at her new powers. Lord! Look, I learned a new spell. It feels like a souped-up version of the blood moon seal. It's even stronger. Turns out, the life seal is just a part of the divine power seal. Whoa! 3 fairy binding ropes. Chapter 83. You are listening at NovelFold.audio. The cute girl bounced excitedly in front of Wu Qi, mouth slightly agape, chattering away. Her pretty face was full of surprise, and she kept muttering to herself, looking totally dazed. Wu Qi pinched the bridge of his nose, feeling a wave of embarrassment. Comparing these fools to Qin Ruishi. That's just insulting Qin Ruishi. Whatever, Wu Qi decided to ignore it and pulled out his last item, the 5 Elements Disillusionment Formation set. This set included 5 small flags and a formation disc, 09, ***, 5 Elements Disillusionment Formation, ***, type, formation, quality, Golden Legend, level, 20, functions, 5 Elements Illusion Formation, Mysterious Gold Killing Formation, Mysterious Wood Entrapment Formation, Mysterious Water Drowning Formation, Mysterious Fire Scorching Formation, Mysterious Earth Suppression Formation. Consumption, 10 Void Crystals /hour, normal, restriction, Lord level 10, introduction, 5 Elements Formation, activate. A level 20 Golden Legendary Formation for just 1 legend point. Not bad, that it gathered the power of the 5 elements, and included formation flags, a central disk, and a method to control it all. Plus, because it was digitized, there was no need to learn any secret techniques. Wu Qi examined the 5 small flags and the formation board, nodding in approval. 10 void crystals per hour wasn't bad at all, considering. It was only when the formation was actively working that consumption would really spike, but for everyday use, it should be manageable. Alright, let's do this. Wu Qi tossed the flags into the air. They transformed into 5 beams of light, gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, and shot off to their positions above the territory, fluttering in the wind. Then, they vanished, holding the formation disk. Wu Qi could clearly sense that the formation was active. Cool, since he had the small universe realm, he didn't even need to manually add void crystals. As long as he kept some in the realm, the formation would automatically draw from it. Awesome, small universe realm, can do that. Wu Qi's eyes lit up. Then he realized, makes sense. It came from a sect that cultivated immortals, so it's bound to have some connection to these kinds of formations. A message popped into his head, warning, the 5 elements disillusionment array is active. Estimated consumption is 10 void crystals per hour. Please ensure sufficient void crystals are available, or the array will automatically shut down. Wu Qi shrugged it off. There were still thousands of confiscated void crystals in the small universe realm. It would be fine, he'd already reached level 10 by the end of the 30-day newbie trial, so he had a surplus of void crystals. I'll deal with it later. Hang on. I still need to open 9 Ju Dao Xuanhuan's treasure chest and claim the 30-day settlement rewards. Wu Qi smacked his forehead. He'd been so distracted by Sister Lin yesterday, a mix of pleasure and pain, that he'd forgotten all about the rewards. Might as well take care of everything now that he had a moment, and of course, opening the chest was Jia Yingchuan's job. Wu Qi led Xiaoqiao to Mingjing Lake, where they found Jia Yingchuan relaxing in the cool water. Standing on the shore, Wu Qi couldn't help but admire her stunning figure. Unlike Lin Daiyu and Qin Keqing, Jia Yingchuan had a gentle, unassuming nature. She was never one to argue or demand attention, but she was beautiful in her own right, with a delicate, peaceful beauty, like an orchid, beautiful on the outside but wise on the inside. She lay quietly in the lake, her slender body a graceful contrast against the clear water. It was like a painting. While Wu Qi was admiring the view, Zhao Xiaoqiao tugged at his sleeve and said pleadingly, Shangxian, I want to play in the lake too. Go ahead. Wu Qi smiled and ruffled the girl's hair. She cheered, quickly stripping off her clothes and splashing into the mirror lake, happily playing in the water. She even scooped up a handful of water and grinned at Wu Qi. Shangxian, come play. Despite being a well-developed young woman, she was as innocent as a child. Giggling, she clearly loved the environment. Wu Qi smiled and shook his head. Okay, Xiaoqiao will play alone. The simple girl didn't overthink it. She just laughed and continued playing in the lake. Her pale body twisted and turned in the water like a little white jade fish, creating gentle ripples. They've been facing the end of the world since they were little. They barely had any time to just play. Wu Qi's heart softened. The noise had, by now, caught Jia Yingchuan's attention. She woke with a start, turned, and saw Wu Qi. Mister. Her pretty face flushed, and she quickly sat up, leaving only her head above the water. Her long hair was scattered around her, creating circles of ripples. Of course, the water was so clear it kind of defeated the purpose. Realizing this, Jia Yingchuan's eyes widened with embarrassment. She hugged herself, swam quickly to the shore, and grabbed a long robe to cover herself. Then, she stepped out of the water, came barefoot to Wu Qi, and whispered, Sir, Yingchuan is sorry for the impropriety. It's okay. Wu Qi's eyes were drawn to the sight of her, like a lotus flower blooming in clear water, but he knew he had business to attend to. He pulled out the treasure chest of 9 absolute swords Xuanhuan, and handed it to her. Seeing the chest, Jia Yingchuan knew what to do. She reached out her small hand and opened it. In an instant, the chest turned to ashes, revealing a secret manual. Could it be? Wu Qi's eyes lit up. What was the most memorable thing about that boss's battle? His swordsmanship. I have 9 swords. That line was both commanding and cool. Excited, Wu Qi hurriedly looked at the manual. Sure enough. 9 swords. Chapter 84. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Edited content. Chapter 10, 9 Ultimate Swords. Mysterious Restaurant. February 5th. Please subscribe. 9 Ultimate Swords. Type, cheat, quality, golden legend, level, 15. Details, teaches the 9 Ju sword, sword technique, restrictions, warrior class only. A level 15 golden legendary manual. Sweet. Wu Qi's eyes lit up, then dimmed a bit when he saw the restriction: no one in the territory is a warrior right now. But leveling up fixes that. He can just buy a class change certificate. Warrior is a common enough class, getting the certificate shouldn't be too hard, he'll just have to pick one up when he gets the chance. Dayu seems like she'd be good as a warrior. Or should I push for a rare class? I don't know much about classes. Wu Qi frowned. Most of what he knew was common knowledge or interesting stories about class changes. As far as he remembered, it didn't seem to matter if a class was rare or not. He wasn't sure, but he figured he'd ask around tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jia Yingchen, seeing Wu Qi spaced out, quickly threw on her clothes. Her long hair cascaded down her back as she stood demurely to the side. By the time Wu Qi snapped out of it, she'd already tied up her hair and looked like her usual delicate, beautiful self. Wu Qi glanced at her and asked, "Yingchen, why do you want to change classes?" Change classes? Jia Yingchen looked puzzled for a second, then the information filled her in. She thought for a beat and said, "I don't have a preference. Whatever you want me to do, young master, is fine with me. You can't really fight in your condition, why not try a support class?" Wu Qi stroked his chin, getting an idea. "Whether it's farming or cooking, if you like it, you can do whatever you want, Yingchen." She spoke softly, sounding completely resigned, which almost made Wu Qi want to tease her. "Forget it, I'll help you pick something next time." Wu Qi sighed and waved her away, then he checked out the 2 territory buildings he'd gotten as rewards, tavern, and barracks. Perfect timing. He could build a 3rd barracks once he hit level 10, so this, barracks, was exactly what he needed, but if he just used his golden finger to re-roll it, the results would be completely random. He could get trash like, steel-armored wild boar, or a golden legendary unit. Wu Qi hesitated, deciding to hold off for now and see if he could get a weapon talisman again. Unlike other lords, Wu Qi had his golden finger and didn't need a barracks template to get unique barracks. He'd even stockpiled a bunch of military talismans during the newbie trial. Roger Archers, Elite Lancers, Horsebow Knights, Taihu Water Thieves, 7 in total. The Taihu Water Thief was a blue unit, and the rest were all green. Naturally, Wu Qi wasn't interested in any of them. He'd rather have quality over quantity. Out here in the endless void, collecting a bunch of junk would just get him swept into the garbage heap, no doubt about it. Of course, that was easy to say when he was sitting pretty. Any other newbie lord would have used them already. A tavern. Wu Qi's eyes flickered. Tavern was another building for recruiting heroes. Even rarer than an altar, and most of the heroes it attracted had names. And it worked differently than the altar system. Instead of summoning, the tavern had a chance to spawn heroes at any time. The lord could check them out and decide whether or not to recruit them. Wu Qi's summoned heroes were all unbelievable, but that was because of the Red Mansion cheat. Right now, he had a 100% chance of getting golden legends and even a chance to find more. It was insane, just too good. The altar turned into the Red Mansion, but what about the tavern? Wu Qi had high hopes as he tossed the tavern down. The architectural model rose into the air and morphed into an ancient, Oriental-style tavern right in front of him. Tavern Plus. The tavern didn't look big, with just 3 tables and chairs, antique style, and a signboard. Wu Qi didn't examine it any further. He clicked on the plus sign. Instantly, a 5-colored divine light shot out and enveloped the tavern. A few seconds later, the light dispersed, and the tavern's appearance changed drastically, transforming into an antique Qingtai restaurant. "Oh?" Wu Qi grinned and pulled up the attribute panel. Mysterious restaurant, type, tavern, level, 1/0/500, recruitable heroes, none, current heroes, none, unlocked recipe, cellared rice wine. Unlockable recipe, Xianbing Jade Fire Wine, unlocked at level 10, stock, October 10th, flavor text, good wine needs no bush. Heroes who smell the wine will come from all the heavens and worlds for you to choose. Not bad. Wu Qi took a closer look. Taverns attracted heroes with wine, and mysterious restaurant, level 1 cellared rice wine could unlock the mysterious ice jade fire wine at level 10. He guessed he'd unlock another recipe at level 20, but he couldn't see it yet. different wines would naturally attract different types of heroes. Cellared rice wine had a high chance of attracting white heroes and a low chance of attracting green or blue heroes. Mysterious ice jade fire wine had a high chance of attracting blue heroes, a low chance of attracting white or green heroes, and a very low chance of attracting purple or gold heroes. Not as amazing as Red Mansion, that Wu Qi was a little disappointed, but the attribute panel of Mysterious Tavern was already crazy good. Most altars and taverns wouldn't even give you gray trash, if you were lucky. He'd heard someone in the lecture hall say they'd spawned a green hero and were thrilled about it. Snapping back to reality, Wu Qi leveled the Mysterious Restaurant to level 10 in one go, unlocked the Mysterious Ice and Jade Fire wine, and then stopped paying attention. He'd just check it out whenever a hero spawned to see if he wanted to recruit them. Then, he inventoried his items, sorted through them a bit, and realized he'd used everything he could. Now. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, time to level up this place. Upgrade. Wu Qi clicked, Void Source Stone cost, 1,500. Territory level, 1011. Territory size, 60,000 square meters 70,000 square meters. Boom boom. The ground trembled, the sky seemed to stretch, the territory's boundaries expanded, and new land appeared out of nowhere. Notification, you've reached level 11. You can now upgrade your buildings and level up your character. Reaching level 11 grants you the Lord's perk, Heroic Power. Tip, name your territory. It should be in the format, name, plus, suffix, like Sky City or Baihua Valley. Tip, the Heroic Power slot is currently empty. Choose a hero, Lin Daiyu /Qin Kaching /Jia Ingchun. Copy, Chapter 1, Heroic Power. Level up. 3/5. Please subscribe. Level 11. The first step to becoming a real lord, the step every lord takes after surviving the newbie trials. At level 11, the lord is no longer a pushover. The key lies in Heroic Power. This is a lord's special ability. You can choose a hero and apply their power to yourself. In other words, a lord can instantly become as strong as a hero, and the stronger the hero, the stronger the lord becomes. Plus, lords can change their Heroic Power template. Remembering yesterday's humiliation, Wu Qi didn't hesitate and chose Lin Daiyu. Instantly, a surge of power resonated within him, like a furnace roaring to life. His organs, flesh, blood, muscles, and bones all quivered at once. In a flash, Wu Qi regained his senses and felt immense power with every breath. This is Daiyu's power. Over 1,000 points of physique. Wu Qi's eyes widened, and he clenched his fists. He felt like he could shatter the earth with a single punch. Of course, that was just an illusion. Going from zero to hero so quickly left Wu Qi feeling a bit dazed. Inside him, Xian Qian was still there, perfectly replicating Lin Daiyu's power. He still had Bajiquan in his mind, and his body even had muscle memory, allowing him to execute the moves fluidly in combat. Swallow the weather in one gulp. Wu Qi practiced a few moves and had a blast. Applying the hero template wouldn't harm the hero, so he wasn't worried about Lin Daiyu, although combat power was secondary, endurance was the main thing. Over 1,000 points of physique meant awesome endurance. That little brat is toast. Wu Qi looked fierce and decided to teach her a lesson. Tip, please name the territory. Just then, another notification popped up from the Lord's heart. Wu Qi thought for a moment, should he go with something cool? Or something that reflects the current situation? Outyan City? Nah, too pretentious. 9 levels of Immortal Realm? Pass, that's just ripping off someone else. Harem City? Too cliché, no good. For someone with a bit of OCD, choosing a name was agonizing. Wu Qi racked his brain. He had tons of names in mind, but they all felt wrong. Either they didn't sound cool enough, or they lacked flair, or they didn't fit the territory's current state. After agonizing over it for ages, he felt his head was about to explode. He shook his head and suddenly spotted the stone tablet in the distance. Taiyin Cave. That's it, Let's just call it Tyene City. If I get a better idea later, I can always change it. Wuqi calmed down and opened the territory panel. He changed the name to Tyene City. Then, he checked his remaining void crystals and void source stones. He had over 170,000 void crystals, and a little less void source stones, but still over 150,000. That was a crazy amount. Most new lords who had just survived the newbie trials wouldn't have more than 10,000 of each. After all, if you didn't spend all your resources on improving your territory strength, it could all be snatched away the next day, and that meant failing the newbie trial. After pondering for a moment, Wu Di made an estimate. There were so many buildings in his territory, and the upgrade requirements varied, but it all added up to a huge number. Reaching level 11 shouldn't be a problem, but upgrading the territory to level 12 would be a whole different story. Let's get everything to level 11 for now. Once I have enough void source stones, I'll bump it all to level 12. Wuqi rubbed his hands and started planning his territory. The current territory size was 70,000 square meters, or 200 x 350, so, he moved the walls, adding 700 units and spending some void crystals. Then, he upgraded the wall to level 11. Next, he started placing the 40 defense towers one by one, about 10 towers in each direction, with a mix of control and damage. Then, he upgraded the defense towers to level 11. The cost varied, but it totaled 100,000 void origin stones. After that, he upgraded the barracks. Both barracks were upgraded to level 11. Void origin stones minus 5,000. Void origin stones minus 5,000. Qin's sharp warriors, omitted, level, 11, 0/6000, army type limit, 150, Mingyue Fairy Palace. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Level, 11, 0/6000, maximum troops, 150, unlike before, starting at level 11, each level increases the troop limit by 50. So, Wuqi can add 100 soldiers at once. Good thing recruitment costs don't increase with the troop upgrades. Wuqi sighed in relief. That was 100,000 void crystals, just like that. In the distance, the doors of the two barracks opened, and stunning beauties and cute girls emerged, all different, but gorgeous. The scene was like a paradise on earth. These territory perks are insane, only recruiting beautiful women. Wuqi glanced around, pretty satisfied. No one would pass on that benefit, of course. A regular guy like him wouldn't have ulterior motives, just appreciating the view. Whether others believed it or not, Wuqi did. Next up, troop upgrades. Individually, they weren't too expensive, but added up, Wuqi was floored. 100 level 10 golden legendary units. Upgrading each to level 11 cost 1,500 void source stones, totaling 150,000. Almost forgot about improving the quality. Wuqi facepalmed. Right, couldn't upgrade that. He still had 100 level 1 golden legendary units. Getting them to level 5 nearly drained his void source stones. Every lord gets screwed over by void source stones. Wuqi sighed. Void source stones weren't like void crystals. They couldn't be traded and were bound to the lord. Plus, they were hard to come by. Average lords might not feel it as much. But for prodigies, heirs of immortals and gods, Holy Land scions, and successors to powerful organizations, void source stones were a love-hate thing. Loved because they were needed for everything. Hated because there were never enough. Every time you got some, you blew it all and were still short. Guess I'll have to wait until next time. Feeling helpless, Wuqi turned to call someone. Bringing 100 new level 5 soldiers to the weapon refining workshop. The workshop was now level 10, churning out level 10 gear. And because of the quality upgrade of the troops, their specialized gear sets were now golden legend quality. You could say that they were dressed to the nines. Too bad that there were no attribute bonuses for the military gear, but compared to purple excellent, golden legend gear had 2 extra equipment characteristics. P.S. Please subscribe. Update 10,000 words daily. Chapter 12, Not Gonna Crack Again. April 5th. Please subscribe. As the saying goes, money comes and goes. The 4-piece golden legend set having 2 extra features meant forging costs went up. But thankfully, forging military gear wasn't crazy expensive. Wu Qi did the math and bought half a set for everyone at once. Void Crystal, 50,000. Weapons and armor began appearing on the weapon refining workshop's forging queue, the humanoid statue floated into the sky, and the alchemy furnace started glowing. Territory construction was a great idea. It was a fully automated workshop. Wu Qi didn't have to lift a finger. Man, I'm flat broke. Wu Qi checked his inventory and touched his forehead, then, he looked at the stuff in his small universe he couldn't use. Guess it's time to sell. Trade it for some void crystals. Alright, I'll check it out tomorrow. Just need to buy that job change certificate. Wu Qi glanced at his job change certificate in the small universe world, conveniently skipping over what he wanted. Not the end of the world. The territory was incorporated into Wu Qi's body. Standing on the territory, the sky you saw was an endless starry expanse. They say, the small territory derived from each lord's heart is the prototype of the world. Eventually, it could become a complete world. That's why a territorial breakthrough requires a connection to the origin of the world, because only with enough world origin can the world expand, advance, and upgrade. And the Lord, in a way, could be called the Lord of the world. But territory is territory. After all, its form of existence is pretty obvious. Pushing it as a world might be a stretch. Still, the territory included in the Lord had day and night, sun and moon, blue skies, white clouds, and the endless starry sky. The environment of Earth, what Wu Qi, as an Earth citizen, was used to. In front of the weapon refining workshop, Wu Qi was checking the items, patiently looking at them one by one. Nearby, a throng of beauties, some aloof, some cute, stood waiting for the weapon refining workshop to deliver their military gear. They stood quietly, having just arrived in this world and receiving the relevant information. They were all filled with curiosity and shock. As time passed, they slowly calmed down and accepted the situation. Immortal Qin warriors wore powerful black clothing. Their beautiful faces solemn and cold, giving off a keep-away vibe. They were straightforward, with simple ponytails and a black bird hair ornament. Mysterious and beautiful, without makeup. Their eyes looked at Wu Qi from time to time, and then at the weapon refining workshop. Sometimes, some immortal Qin soldiers stared fixedly at the sky. They weren't just NPCs, they all had their own worlds and past lives. The Mingyue fairy palace girls were also silent, but they blinked their big eyes, turned their little heads, and looked at this new world with curiosity. Is this world really that amazing? Will the Lord be a bully? Is this Lord, is our new king worthy of our support? Hopefully, this new world isn't on the verge of destruction like the last one. Immortal. The beauties were lost in thought, each with their own concerns. It was truly a beautiful scene, with hundreds of flowers blooming at once. Wu Qi finished his work, glanced over, and was immediately captivated. After staring for a moment, he snapped out of it and felt good. Remembering the day of the Lord's heart, he recalled it being just an ordinary white Lord's heart. Disappointed, helpless, painful. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As they say, the bigger the hype, the bigger the letdown. Any normal person wouldn't pin as much hope on this Lord's heart thing as a time traveler like Wu Qi. So, you can imagine the mixed bag of emotions he was dealing with. But, he didn't crack under the pressure. Instead, he pulled himself together, full of fire and ambition. That thought brought Wu Qi a sudden calm, cooling the fever in his heart. Cheat or no cheat, I gotta keep a level head. In times like these, geniuses are a dime a dozen. This is the age of gods, and an age where immortals and gods are all around us. The endless void, all heavens and realms. I can't be arrogant or get a big head, but I need to stay confident, brave, and grind. It's like they say. Have the heart of a tiger, but stop and smell the roses. In that instant, the image of the divine river popped into his head. An immortal girl, barefoot on the divine river, like a dream. Wu Qi understood this was the effect of the divine river observation method. it was helping him understand his own body, understand himself and what's coming. Right then, that Wu Qi felt a wave of gratitude for all the hard work he put in to get into Kamigawa High. It's the most famous school in Silver Moon City, with a legacy that puts the others to shame. Looks like Fairy Yunmeng wasn't kidding. The Divine River viewing method isn't just a trick for the Lord to escape. This secret method has way bigger perks for the Lord. No wonder she taught it using an artifact. Wu Qi gave it a quick think over and couldn't help but crack a smile. The most gorgeous woman in Silver Moon City, the principal of Kamigawa High, is a bit of a tsundere. She might trash-talk the students, but she's really slipping them major buffs with that magic item. Like, Wu Qi jumped 10 levels in one shot. And the effects are just starting to kick in. Nothing else on the agenda right now, so why not give the marriage tree a shot? Perfect time to level up this skill. That Wu Qi rubbed his hands together and turned to the girls who were still waiting. Then he headed for the marriage tree. Once Wu Qi was out of earshot, the girls let out a collective sigh of relief and started whispering. The new king is kinda cute. There's no sleaze in his eyes. He seems like a good guy. That immortal vibe is intense. I don't think we could take him on altogether. Don't be so sure. My immortal Qin army bows to no one. That the marriage tree. Under the tree, Lin Daiyu looked bummed, a touch of helplessness on her face. Wu Qi walked over, grinning. What's up? Epiphany not going so well? Nah. Sister Lin turned around, taking a good look at Wu Qi, and couldn't hide her surprise. My lord, how come you're? Why did I suddenly get stronger? That Wu Qi grinned, stuck out his hand. A ball of pure energy gathered and swirled in his palm. Swallowing the world in one gulp, Lin Daiyu's beautiful eyes lit up, and she flashed a cheerful smile. This servant knows. You must have snagged the power from this servant. Bingo. Wu Qi nodded, but then Sister Lin gave a sly smile and said softly, Master. You won't be as wiped out now as you were yesterday. Chapter 13. What is this move? May 5th. Please subscribe. Wu Qi's face fell. You asking for trouble, right? Master, are you mad? Sister Lin blinked her gorgeous eyes, a hint of teasing playing on her face. She was putting on that tone on purpose. You can tell it's dripping with sarcasm just from the way she said it. Wu Qi was speechless and shot back, just you wait, I'm gonna get you back for this, sooner or later. Oh, Lin Daiyu smiled sweetly and shut her mouth. She just kept staring, like she was sending some hidden message. Wu Qi coughed. Let's get down to business. What did you get out of the epiphany? Master, don't even get me started. I only improved, Bajiquan, a tiny bit, and I still don't get the artistic vision. With that, Sister Lin sighed again. Wu Qi rolled his eyes. You're being way too hard on yourself. You can't just get the artistic vision. You can do the epiphany every day now, and you'll figure it out eventually. Don't be so greedy. You'll be happy forever if you know when to stop. I will never forget what you said in my lifetime. Lin Dongdong had gone full-time sarcasm queen on him, and when she was being a brat, Wu Qi couldn't take it. He wished he could let her test his current physique right now. I'll give it a try. Wu Qi nodded, a little curious, and sat right down under the marriage tree. The next moment, he calmed his heart and cleared his head, and he could feel the power of the marriage tree. At the same time, some info was flooding his brain. Pick a skill. First, let's get me to level 11. Wu Qi made his decision, and after fiddling with the options, he chose level 10, Divine River Viewing Method. The next instant, a mysterious feeling washed over him. Wu Qi felt like he was out of this world. In the blink of an eye, he was in the deep, dark void of space, pitch black all around, dead silent, and no one to hear him scream. There was no up or down, no left or right, no size or direction. The endless void was terrifying. While Wu Qi was trying to wrap his head around it, a divine river came down. Splash, like a tidal wave crashing on the shore, the divine river swept past, and Wu Qi swam in the current. Suddenly, an immortal descended, walked barefoot on the divine river, and stood next to Wu Qi. Her long hair fluttered, some of it coming loose, and hitting Wu Qi's face, he turned his head and saw a breathtakingly beautiful face, a cool expression, ancient red clothes wrapped around her perfect body. But no shoes, her white and pretty feet were slightly raised, her toes smelled sweet, like they had a divine charm. This was exactly the image Wu Qi had imagined. Alright, Wu Qi focused and started to visualize. Chapter 88. You are listening at NovelFold.audio. Every hair, every inch of skin, every piece of clothing, eyebrows, facial features, body type, trying to picture the divine river is too abstract. You get a shape, but there's no real feeling, but visualizing Fairy Yunmeng. Way easier. It even gave Wu Qi a crazy idea, what if Fairy Yunmeng was part of his territory? Then he could, in the territory of Yunmeng Marsh. On a towering sacred mountain, a red-clad woman stood barefoot on the cliffs, gazing coolly at the vast swamp below. In the swamp, nine-headed serpents slithered from the west and savage ancient dragons roared from the east, and huge, terrifying monsters, the size of gods and demons, writhed within. Every movement, perfectly in sync with the swamp. Turning a serpent into a dragon is a real pain. If I get the chance, I gotta hit up that bigger world and bag a few dozen ancient hydras. Drain their blood. Yunmeng Marsh. Ugh, the road to becoming Baizé is a dead end. So what if it's divine beast blood? Blood's just blood, it's not the real deal, the red-clad woman muttered, frowning, suddenly. Her lord's heart skipped a beat, and an invitation popped up. Notification, Lord Wu Qi from Taiyin City, invites you to join Taiyin City. If you accept the territory of Yunmeng Marsh will become property of Taiyin City, and you will become Wu Qi's servant, the red-clad woman. She looked shocked, disbelief flooding her beautiful eyes. Wait, what? Lords can give up their territory and become someone else's servant. But that's usually for the slackers, the ones with zero ambition, or when they're forced into it by some crazy circumstance. This woman in red? She's the top dog in Silver Moon City, both in strength and territory. How could anyone invite her to be a servant? In a flash, murderous intent sparked in her eyes. But just as quickly, she remembered, Wu Qi, the newbie lord. The killing intent vanished. Replaced by a frown, something felt off. How could a newbie lord even contact me? They haven't even gotten their hands on the Zhutian Forum, building from the government yet. Besides, a new lord wouldn't have the nerve to mess with me. Interesting, the red-clad woman suddenly laughed, spotting something intriguing, her beautiful eyes shining with curiosity. The epiphany ended. Wu Qi snapped back to reality and opened his eyes. Young master, you're awake. Lin Daiyu, who had been watching him, rushed over with a bowl of water. Inside, was moonlight liquid. Level 10, moon well water, rich, delicious, and potent. Everyone in the territory basically drank moonlight liquid instead of water. Not bad. Wu Qi took the bowl and gulped it down, then checked his skill panel. Xuanhuan visualization method, was now level 11. Looks like that high probability thing wasn't BS, too bad he didn't unlock any new insights or anything. Guess he needs to have an epiphany every day, even if he doesn't level up. What if he picks up something cool? Right. Busy day. That night, Wu Qi went to his room in the palace. He lit the lamp, and saw that he already had company. A woman sat at the table, wearing a phoenix crown and a bridal gown, exactly like when she was first summoned. But unlike the fear and surprise she showed then, Qin Keqing's lovely face was shy, and there was a hint of allure in her phoenix eyes, as if she was full of expectation. On the table, was a pot of wine and 2 cups. Wu Qi had just finished his bath, and when he saw the beauty, he smiled and said, "I'm here." Young master. The beautiful Keqing exclaimed, her voice a mix of tears and longing. She picked up the wine pot and gently filled the 2 cups, then looked up at Wu Qi that he understood, sat down next to her, and picked up a glass. Qin Keqing also picked up her wine and whispered, "Young master, you know what I desire, you know my original fate. Young master changed my destiny." She raised her head, her phoenix eyes trembling slightly, and smiled. P.S. Please subscribe. Chapter 14, Wedding Wine. Level up potential. 1/5. Please subscribe. Fate is a tricky thing. Through Lin Daiyu, Qin Keqing learned about her original destiny. Compared to that tragic future, she's way happier now, plus, that she landed in a brand new world. An epic era. Became a hero by accident, and gained unbelievable power, and her current master, he's definitely someone she admires. Compared to the other lords out there, Wu Qi is top tier. Throughout the 30-day rookie trial, Wu Qi was never a jerk. Even with absolute power, he never deliberately oppressed anyone. Instead, he worked alongside them, fighting hard, sometimes even exhausted. He'd just lean against a wall and crash out on the ground. So, Qin Keqing's feelings for Wu Qi are complicated. On one hand, she's incredibly grateful. On the other, she's full of admiration. Yesterday, Lin Daiyu asked to borrow the phoenix crown and bridal gown. Her first reaction wasn't excitement, but a twinge of sour jealousy. What else is there to say? Chapter 89. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Wu Qi grinned, waving a hand. You're mine now, and I'm the lucky one who gets to rewrite your story. Master. Qin Keqing's eyes flickered, her gaze averted slightly, filled with emotion. The gold ornaments on the phoenix crown trembled with a delicate chime as she shook her head. Seeing this, Wu Qi reached out and took off the phoenix crown for her, placing it on the table. He gazed at the beauty, her long hair cascading down, his eyes intensifying. Master. Qin Keqing was a bit shy, but boldly continued, would you like to finish what was started? Absolutely, a wedding can't be left unfinished. Wu Qi's eyes sparkled. Jia Rong will probably freak out when he finds you vanished from the bridal chamber. But since he can't enjoy it, I'll step in. Master, you're really, why do you say such odd things? Qin Keqing looked helpless. There was something in Wu Qi's words that she couldn't quite grasp, and she cursed under her breath. They let their feelings show freely. Qin Keqing smiled softly, raising her wine glass, her eyes sparkling with charm. Wu Qi understood and picked up his own glass, looping his arm with hers. They lowered their heads together, finishing the wine in one gulp. This was a cup of wine, an ancient tradition signifying that the two were officially wedded. Is this Xianbing jade fire wine? Wu Qi's eyes widened, surprised. Qin Keqing paused, then smiled brightly and nodded. Yes. It tastes fantastic. It's got a warm kick. Wu Qi glanced at his character stats and was surprised to see his level had changed. Wu Qi, omitted, level, 11, 3/600, +1. +1. +1. The experience needed to level up was actually increasing, rising to over 20 points before stopping. Could this Xianbing jade fire wine actually be used for leveling? Wu Qi's eyes lit up, but after careful consideration, he dismissed the idea. The information in Mysterious Restaurant was very detailed. Xianbing jade fire wine required 1 unit of stock per pot, and replenishing 1 unit required 100 void crystals. It seemed small, but the amount of black ice jade fire wine required for leveling up was huge. Besides, who could drink thousands of bottles of Xuanbing Jingguo wine in a day? Think you're a water fountain? Master, you're zoning out again. Qin Keqing said softly, with a hint of annoyance. He had a captivating beauty in front of him, and he was staring at the wine. Ahem. Wu Qi snapped back to reality and smiled awkwardly. After a moment's thought, he said, after we drink a glass of wine, how about we consummate the marriage? Turn off the lights. Qin Keqing lowered her head, looking stunning. Why turn off the lights? Wu Qi firmly disagreed. He picked up the pretty girl, stepping forward amidst her surprised cries. Halfway there, thick, luxurious wedding clothes fell to the ground. Wu Qi even stepped on the xia pei, not caring about the dignity of the ceremonial robes. The next day. 9 a.m. Wu Qi woke up, sat up, and stretched. A crackling sound echoed, like a tiger and leopard roaring within his body. Great, I broke through. No more worrying about being out of shape. Wu Qi smiled proudly, clenching his fists. He felt a surge of energy, and wouldn't be tired for 3 days and nights. Looking down, Qin Keqing hugged his waist with a sweet smile, a few tear stains faintly visible on her fair skin. Wu Qi gently straightened her messy long hair, careful not to disturb her rest. Then, he carefully slipped away from her, got out of bed, dressed, and prepared to shower and wake himself up. After he left, Qin Keqing opened her eyes, her gaze full of shyness. How embarrassing. She grabbed the pillow and punched it with her little fist, but with a smile on her lips. Master, was amazing, Mirror Lake. It was early morning, and no one was around. Wu Qi leaned against the shore, relaxed. The cold lake water lapped around him. Mingjing Lake was a territorial building, not just a small lake. The water was constantly replaced with fresh water, cleaning the human body and washing away dirt. Wu Qi took a good bath and felt refreshed. His body felt much cleaner. Hoo-hoo. He hummed, closing his eyes and preparing for a nap. Suddenly, the lake water rippled. Someone was coming. He turned his head and saw a beautiful woman entering the water, approaching him gracefully. Her beautiful face held a mix of anger and joy. My good master, did you rest well last night? Sister Lin from the great Yin Yang family was here. Wu Qi raised his eyebrows and smiled. Rest assured, I'll be the winner. Master is so dominant. Lin Daiyu pursed her lips and smiled, but there was a hint of jealousy in her eyes. Out with the old, in with the new. Master really likes new things. Don't talk nonsense, I'm good at nothing if not fraternity. Wu Qi denied it immediately. Really? Lin Daiyu blushed, took off her jade hairpin, and let her long hair fall down. I want to test that. Wu Qi. Back home. In the living room, Wu Qi changed back into modern casual clothes, looking pale. What a little enchantress. He gritted his teeth and checked the time. He had to, it was almost time to go to school. At this time, it was already past 1 p.m. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Edited content to keep Lin Daiyu happy. Wu Qi skipped lunch, but class started at 2 p.m. Too lazy to eat, he just got ready and headed to school. P.S. Please subscribe. I've been trying to get recommended for days. It'd be great to get a recommendation. Your support is appreciated. Chapter 15, Multiverse Forum, February 5th. Please subscribe. Kamigawa High School. In the lecture hall of Senior Class 20, Wu Qi walked in to find only about 20 people present. Am I early? Slightly puzzled, he picked an empty seat and sat down. Looking around, everyone was whispering in small groups. There are so few people here today. Yeah, the big shots usually have a multiverse forum set up at home. Hey, isn't Baiji great? The food in this country is awesome. Knock it off. But speaking of which, a multiverse forum isn't cheap. For us regular lords, that's money better saved. Listening to their chatter, Wu Qi's eyes narrowed slightly. He was thoughtful. Multiverse Forum. It's a territorial building. Rumor has it that an ancient being created a network connecting all realms, allowing all lords to communicate. Unlike regular calls or spells, the multiverse network uses the Multiverse Forum as nodes to connect, communicate, and even trade. Of course, the multiverse network can't truly cover everything. In the past, ancient lords explored the unknown, leaving their marks on different worlds. As the number of lords grew and more people owned a multiverse forum, the network gradually became more complete and incredibly powerful. This is a territorial building that grows stronger as humanity does. It's man-made, a gathering of immense human power. Naturally, new lords receive a basic one from the government, but wealthy families usually don't want it, firstly, because of appearances. They're too well off to rely on the government. Secondly, powerful families build special, multiverse forums, each with unique properties. Yeah, that was nice. Wu Qi leaned back in his chair, nodding secretly. He still felt a little weak. Qin Keqing was gentle and cooperative, so she wasn't too much trouble, but Lin Daiyu was a handful. someone who looks as gentle as water is apparently super aggressive in bed. That was a bit much. Stat-wise, with heroic power, and bound to the Lin Dayu template, he's definitely stronger than her. But, you can't go too hard. He's still a guy, after all, and he's at a slight disadvantage. I've gotta find a way. Wu Qi muttered. Just then, his ears twitched, and he turned his head. 2 people were sitting next to him. More students filed into the classroom. Hey, the 2 beside Wu Qi, a guy and a girl, seemed to be siblings. I'm Li Bo. This is my sister, Li Wen. That they smiled and greeted him. Wu Qi gave a light smile and nodded. Wu Qi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Wu Qi. Li Bo was quite talkative and seemed friendly. He smiled and said, Wu Qi, are you joining the simulated battle team next month? Not interested. Wu Qi shrugged, making his disinterest clear. The siblings were surprised. People who come here to get a multiverse forum are usually average, so they don't look down on simulated battle rewards. Besides, there aren't any super rich kids at Kamigawa High School. Even the children of wealthy or middle-class families are eager to participate in simulated battles. The rewards are pretty good. Hearing Wu Qi say this, they didn't think he looked down on them, but figured he thought he was too weak and was giving up. The siblings glanced at each other and dropped the subject to avoid embarrassing him. After getting the multiverse forum today, want to add each other as friends? You can come visit our territory sometime. Li Bo smiled and said, to be honest, my sister and I are planning to be farming lords. We've already planted a bunch of elven-bred trees. Sure. Wu Qi nodded. Li Bo saw his expression and asked, what about you? Me? Wu Qi thought for a moment. Warlord. On the fighting side, the siblings were surprised and a little confused. If he was planning on being a warlord, why give up the simulated battle? It's a bonus provided by Kamigawa High School. War-focused lords usually try their best to participate. Ambitious. Li Bo didn't push it, and changed the subject, sharing some funny stories about other students. Then he stopped. He was a talker, so he brought up his family. They were very ordinary. His dad had been a warlord early on, but during an exploration into the endless void, he ran into trouble, and his territory was damaged. He had to give up fighting and go into farming. His mom was a typical farming lord. In that environment, the siblings were naturally enthusiastic about being farming lords. Safe, stable income, and a peaceful life. That was the best life. In their eyes, Wu Qi's eyes flickered, but he didn't say anything. He didn't agree with them, but people have their own choices and their own paths, so there's no need for others to say much. They thought this was a peaceful era, to enjoy life and live comfortably, but in Wu Qi's eyes, this era was magnificent, a time of all-out war between races and conflicts across the heavens. If you can't make waves in an era like this, what's the difference between that and being dead? After a while, about 70 or 80 people were in the classroom. At 2:30, a wisp of mist swirled and turned into a door. The red-dressed woman walked out barefoot, her cold, pretty face as beautiful as ever. As soon as she appeared, you could hear a pin drop in the classroom. All right, 81 of you are here. The woman in red glanced around and said calmly, we have 2 things to do today. One is to distribute the multiverse forum to you. The other is to explain the divine river visualization method. She didn't elaborate, but simply waved her hand. Beams of light flew out and floated in front of the students. The light faded, and a building model appeared. It looked like an ancient altar, radiating the aura of time. Multiverse forum. Wu Qi grabbed it and put it in his inventory. Then, the red-dressed woman said calmly, I will guide you through the divine river illusion. Pay attention. Yes.